Hello, everyone. So welcome back with me to dive into the questions to prepare for AWS Cloud Practitioner. Let's read this question. Your design team is planning to design an application that will be hosted on the AWS Cloud. One of their main non-functional requirement is given below: reduce interdependencies so failures do not impact other components. When we say reduce interdependencies, we are talking about decoupling. And services, like, imagine that you have a service that have different component. One of them to browse, like let's think about you have a shopping cart. So you go to Amazon, for example, you browse the items, you add them to the cart, and then you pay. So if the payment component is down, you don't want the whole service to be down. So that way we have all these services working together without, having dependencies in between them. Which of the following concept does this requirement relate to? Integration? No. Decoupling? Yes. It is decoupling. Move on. Which of the following security requirements are managed by AWS? Select 3 answers from the options given below. Password policies? Definitely not. Like, Amazon will not come to manage your passwords. It's something that you need to take care of. User permissions? No. Physical security? Definitely yes. Disk disposal? Yes. Hardware practicing? Yes. And that's right. You are planning on deploying a video-based application onto the AWS Cloud. Users across the world will access these videos. Which of the below services can help efficiently stream the contents to the user across the globe? Across the globe, that triggers one word in my mind: regions. CloudFront. Let's see what we have here. Amazon SES? No. CloudTrail? CloudTrail always related to who does what or which service did what. It's like a trail, like you're trying to figure out like the interaction that happened between APIs, which one triggered the other one. Amazon CloudFront? Definitely yes, it is the answer. Which of the following AWS services can be used to retrieve configuration changes made to AWS resources causing operational issues? Configuration, direct, do you think about AWS config? And if you want to explore, like, for example, like, none of these are related to configuration. Like, what is CloudFront, Inspector, Trust Advisor. You can go read more about them, what each service does. Security, my favorite topic. I'm just kidding. An organization runs several EC2 instances inside the VPC using 3 subnets. So we have 3 subnets, one for development, one for testing, and one for production. The security team has some concerns about VPC configuration. It requires restricting communication across the EC2 instances using security groups. Which of the following options is true for security groups related to the scenario? You can change a security group associated with an instance if the instance is in the running state. Sure, that's the power of that's the power of AWS. I think this is the answer. You can change a security group associated with an instance if the instance is in a hibernate state. Not necessarily, it can be running. You can change a security group only if there are no instances associated to it. Bullshit. The only security group you can change is the default security group. Wrong. Your company is planning to pay for an AWS support plan. And we think about AWS support plan, there are 4 categories. Basic, if I'm a poor dude who just joined AWS and I want to, play around, nobody cares about supporting you. Developer, like, I'm a developer and I want to pay this amount of money and like to get more like support. So let's see what they have. 24/7 access to cloud support engineers via email. 24/7, that goes 2 groups, business and enterprise. So how can I differentiate later? Response time of less 15 minutes. Less than 15 minutes, that means like I'm rich, I'm paying for the service and I want your support. That's enterprise. I'm paying $15,000 a month to get that kind of response. And there is like definitely a list of, a document you can take a look at. Your company wants to move an existing Oracle database to AWS Cloud. Which of the following services can help facilitate this move? AWS database migration service? Yes. Sorry, I have to dive, like, this is the answer. Inspector, trusted advisor, all these are not related to migration, definitely. On which of the following resources does Amazon Inspector perform network accessibility checks? Amazon CloudFront, wrong. VPN, wrong. EC2 instances, yes. Inspector, when you think about Inspector, just think about EC2 instances. As the inspector provides 2 types of package: network reachability rules, package checks, network accessibility checks for Amazon EC2 instances, host assessment, rules packaging, blah, blah, blah. And I said Amazon inspector performs network accessibility checks on Amazon EC2 instances. So as you can see here, not on Amazon CloudFront, Amazon VPN, or Amazon VPC. All right. Which of the following services help to achieve computing elasticity in AWS? Is it the RDS? This is a database. Definitely not. VPC endpoint? No. AWS EC2 auto-scaling group. Wow. Auto-scaling, elasticity. Ring the bells. That's the answer. A live online game uses a DynamoDB service in the background to store real-time scores of the participants. As they compete against each other's, which data consistency option is the most appropriate to implement? Like when you play games, you want to make sure that like whatever action I do, it's there with no latency. And I'm really not familiar with these, but I mean, through the wording in this question, I would go with, is it strongly consistent? I definitely want it to be strongly consistent. Eventually consistent? No. Strong eventual consistency? This is very confusing. Optimistic? No, I don't want to be pessimistic. I want, if I do this move, I want it to be there with no latency. Let's look at the answer. Since the gamers are from geographically distinct location, the data will need to be immediately readable within a second as soon as it's written. Therefore, strongly consistency is needed. And if we look at the other options, we mentioned this, but because strong eventually consistency is not applicable in DynamoDB, so this is not applicable in DynamoDB, and optimistic is also only, so because only 2 data consistency models are available in DynamoDB service, optimistic consistency is not supported. Good. More question, just more question. Okay, which of the following services allows you to analyze EC2 instances against predefined security templates to check for vulnerabilities? Wow. I mean, I will go through what I know. Is it AWS Shield? No. A Shield like protects you from the outside, DDoS and whatever. And like also the firewall also protects you from the outside. Is it Inspector or is it Trust Advisor? I would say it is not Trusted Advisor, because Trusted Advisor usually gives you 5 categories like fault tolerance and cost. There are 4 of them. If you go to Trusted Advisors like security, performance, cost, fault tolerance, service limits. So in this case, we are talking about EC2 instances. So I would go with the Inspector, which is correct. Enables you to analyze the behavior of your AWS resource and helps you to identify potential security issues. So let's stop here and we're going to continue later.